What really happens while you sleep? Although your body is still in resting, your mind stays active and your consciousness begins to travel. But where does it go? This question has intrigued mystics and scientists alike for centuries. Many ancient traditions and modern studies have tried to shed light on the mystery, but only a few truly grasp the deeper truth. What I'm about to share may forever change the way you see both sleep and the nature of consciousness. Have you ever had a dream so vivid that it felt like stepping into another life? If so, you're not alone. These kinds of dreams can offer powerful insights into the hidden world of consciousness. Sleep has always been one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Across cultures and time, people have believed that while we sleep, our soul leaves the body and journeys to other realms. In ancient Egypt, dreams were seen as divine messages. Greek philosophers like Plato believed the soul could reach higher planes of existence during rest. Today, science confirms that sleep is essential for our brain to function properly. It helps consolidate memory and reset our systems. But there's more to the story. During certain stages of sleep, especially REM, the brain behaves similarly to when we're in deep meditation or even near-death experiences. In this state, our sense of time and reality can completely shift. And yet this raises a powerful question. If consciousness is just something the brain produces, then why do so many people experience vivid dreams, spiritual encounters, or lucid visions during sleep that defy explanation? Could it be that something real is happening beyond the surface? There's a lesser-known idea that might hold the answer: the journey of consciousness. Every night as your body enters deep rest and your brain waves slow down, your awareness begins to disconnect from the physical world. This process may seem ordinary, but it's anything but. Most people go through it without realizing the incredible potential it holds. Sleep is more than just rest. It may be a doorway to other dimensions of existence. However, does this imply that your consciousness is also turned off? The response is negative. In reality, your mind remains active, operating at levels that science is still grappling to comprehend. Even as your body rests, the most vivid dreams and the most compelling experiences occur in the REM, or rapid eye movement state, which is one of the various stages of sleep. However, there is an element that surpasses this. In this state, consciousness can literally disengage from the physical body and access other dimensions of reality, according to research conducted by the Monroe Institute and scientists such as Dr. Charles Tart. This phenomenon is referred to as astral projection, or out-of-body experience, MOBE. However, why do the majority of individuals fail to recognize this? The explanation may be found in the manner in which we have been trained to perceive reality. We are instructed from a tender age that what cannot be measured or touched does not exist. Nevertheless, individuals who have undergone out-of-body experiences have described an indescribable sense of liberation, a broader understanding of the universe, and the capacity to explore locations that have never been visited before. There are documented accounts of individuals who were able to describe events and locations that were far from their physical bodies upon entering this state. Robert Monroe, a researcher who dedicated his life to the study of consciousness projection, is one of the most well-known cases. Monroe wrote volumes that detailed his experiences in non-physical realms. Additionally, there is one critical element. The location of your consciousness during sleep can be directly influenced by your emotional and mental state prior to going to bed. Accessing denser levels of the dream experience may result if you fall unconscious, feeling anxious or apprehensive. Conversely, if you sleep with a high vibration and a distinct intention, you may be receptive to spiritual experiences and profound teachings. Consequently, the next time you are on the brink of falling asleep, consider implementing an alternative strategy. Set a distinct intention before closing your eyes. Tell yourself, "I wish to retain the memories of my consciousness tonight." This straightforward exercise has the potential to reveal unexpected insights into one's own nature. Have you ever heard of the practice of making recommendations prior to retiring for the night? The moments preceding slumber are a potent opportunity to direct your consciousness towards specific experiences and program the subconscious mind, a fact that few individuals are aware of. The hypnagogic phase, a transitional state between the realm of dreams and wakefulness, is a state that your brain enters in the moments preceding slumber. During this period, your mind is exceedingly susceptible to suggestions. This method was employed by notable historical figures, including Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, to acquire revolutionary insights. They would frequently fall asleep with queries on their minds, and upon awakening, they frequently had the answers they were seeking. However, how can you leverage this to your advantage? Simply inform your brain of your precise desires prior to retiring for the night. For instance, I desire to awaken with a sense of rejuvenation and vitality. I hope that my mind will generate novel concepts for my professional endeavors, provide me with strategies for increasing financial prosperity, assist me in resolving this issue while I am asleep, permit me to recall my visions with clarity upon awakening. These recommendations have a direct impact on the subconscious, which is responsible for the tireless pursuit of solutions and answers during sleep. Frequently, you may awaken with a sudden insight, a sense of clarity, or a symbolic dream that reveals the information you require. Additionally, the intention of experiencing spiritual experiences during sleep can be incorporated into this technique. For instance, individuals who engage in astral projection frequently recite phrases such as, "Tonight I will be conscious in the astral world," prior to retiring for the night. Alternatively, I desire to retain all of the experiences that my consciousness has outside of the body. Many of them report lucid dreams, spiritual encounters, and even consciousness-expanding experiences as a result of repetition and practice. Your mind has the ability to transcend boundaries that conventional science has yet to completely comprehend, even as your physical body remains stationary in bed. What is the precise location of your consciousness? The response is contingent upon a variety of factors, including your emotional state perception and the intention you establish prior to retiring for the night. Some individuals report vivid dreams that are exceedingly vivid, while others experience lucid dreams. Additionally, there are those who describe the sensation of floating outside their body, observing the world from a completely different perspective. It is intriguing that mystics, Buddhist priests, and individuals who have undergone near-death experiences, NDEs, have also recounted comparable experiences. It is a common belief among many that they can access locations that defy the logic of 3 dimensions when they exit the body. Some individuals discuss cities of light, while others recount encounters with spiritual guidance. There are even those who describe dimensions in which time and space operate in entirely different ways. However, how can you determine whether your consciousness is genuinely traveling or if it is merely a typical dream? There are several compelling pieces of evidence. Accounts of individuals who were able to accurately describe the details of locations they had never visited physically after experiencing an out-of-body experience are a strong indication that something very real is occurring. Furthermore, quantum physics implies that consciousness may not be limited to the brain. Dr. Eben Alexander, a neurosurgeon, declared that his experience on the other side was more genuine than his waking existence after undergoing a profound NDE. This raises the question of whether we access parallel realities, higher dimensions, or simply fragments of our own consciousness during sleep. However the solution may be found in visions, a significant number of them are not merely the product of the brain. Rather, they are documentations of our ascents through the cosmos. Prior to proceeding, I would like to ascertain whether you are intrigued in acquiring additional information regarding parallel realities. If you are, please leave a comment stating, "I am interested in learning more about parallel realities." In this manner, we can provide you with an exclusive video that elucidates the enigmas of these concealed realms and the methods by which your consciousness can access them. Additionally, ensure that you subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to ensure that you do not overlook any updates. Throughout history, various spiritual traditions and cultures have investigated the enigma of dreams as messages from the unconscious. Dreams were an expression of the psyche for Freud, as they revealed repressed desires. Carl Jung, on the other hand, perceived dreams as a gateway to the collective unconscious, where universal symbols and archetypes emerge to direct our individual voyage. Numerous individuals report dreams that resemble genuine out-of-body experiences, encounters with spiritual entities, or visions of the future. Lucid dreams are those in which the individual is aware that they are dreaming and in certain instances is able to consciously interact with the environment. Spiritual traditions posit that our consciousness may traverse various domains of existence while we are asleep. For instance, in shamanism, dreams are perceived as spiritual excursions during which the soul can acquire knowledge from guides or uncover concealed information. According to certain Buddhist traditions, dreams can serve as a form of death training, assisting the soul in navigating the spiritual regions after it departs the physical body. Additionally, there is an additional element that is even more unexpected. Some individuals claim to have experienced the same dream as an acquaintance or family member on the same night. How is this feasible? Is it possible that our consciousness can interact with others while we are asleep? This is due to the fact that our consciousness is not contained within the brain during slumber. It has the capacity to establish a connection to a broader range of information. The unified field, a profound level of reality, is the conduit through which all elements of the universe are interconnected, according to quantum physics. This field is a place where the distinction between individual minds dissolves. It is conceivable that two individuals can access the same dreamscapes while they slumber by tuning into the same frequency, as thoughts and emotions have specific frequencies. Furthermore, Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious implies that we are all connected to a vast repository of archetypes, memories, and symbols. This would elucidate the reason why individuals worldwide report comparable visions, despite never having encountered one another. Our minds are capable of accessing this universal database during deep slumber, which enables the occurrence of shared dreams. There are also accounts of joint spiritual experiences in which two or more individuals claim to have interacted in the same dream environment and upon awakening describe identical details. This implies that our consciousness is no longer constrained by the physical body, as we can access subtle dimensions of reality while we slumber. However, not all dreams are arbitrary or merely rehashed versions of the day. There are those who convey significant messages, signals from the universe, and even premonitions. Numerous individuals have reported having dreams about events that subsequently transpired in actuality. This is due to the fact that our minds are not constrained by the constraints of physical reality during the slumber state. We are ensnared in a linear timeline in the waking world. The past, present, and future appear to be unchanging sequences. However, when we dream, our consciousness can operate in a reality where time is mutable, allowing us to access information that is beyond the scope of common perception. In quantum mechanics experiments, for instance, physicist John Wheeler suggested that the future can influence the past. Is it possible that our minds, when disconnected from the limitations of the body, can also access information about what's yet to come, if this occurs on a subatomic level? Numerous scientists and researchers have examined precognitive visions. Abraham Lincoln is a well-known example of a person who had a dream about his own mortality just days before he was assassinated. Another well-documented example is the premonitory dreaming of disasters, such as the Titanic sinking or the 9/11 assaults. This phenomenon was referred to as synchronicity by Carl Jung, who posited that there are connections between events that cannot be accounted for by ordinary chance. It is conceivable that when we dream, we are actually accessing subtle patterns of what is to come, a form of memory of the future if time operates differently in the domain of consciousness. However, how can we distinguish between a precognitive dream and a regular dream? It is the clarity and intensity that are the keys. Dreams that are precognitive are frequently extremely vivid, characterized by a strong sense of reality and specific details. Many individuals who have undergone this type of experience have reported awakening with a profound sense that the events they witnessed were not merely a hallucination. If this is accurate, it implies that we possess the capacity to establish a connection with a collective consciousness that encompasses all potentialities while we are asleep. There are various varieties of dreams, each of which has a unique interpretation. Symbolic dreams, metaphors and images, are employed to convey messages from the subconscious. For instance, the internal emotional state may be symbolized by the dream of a dwelling. Dreams that anticipate future events, they hold visions of the future, allowing access to information that transcends linear time. Numerous individuals have experienced dreams that foreshadowed events that occurred prior to their occurrence. Astral projections. These are the dreams in which you become aware that you are hallucinating and can consciously engage with the environment, even altering the plot dreams of a spiritual nature. These may entail encounters with guides, divine messages, or out-of-body experiences. However, how can we accurately interpret our dreams? Attention and intention are the determining factors. To enhance your memory and comprehension of your dreams, begin your dream journaling practice by recording all that you recall immediately upon awakening. Frequently, patterns and messages begin to manifest over time. One of the most captivating aspects of slumber is the astral plane and its various dimensions. Esoteric schools, including Spiritism, Theosophy, and Hermeticism, extensively investigate the astral plane concept. The astral, according to these traditions, is an intermediate level of existence where thoughts and emotions manifest. It is a dimension that is highly malleable, and reality can change instantaneously in accordance with the vibration and intention of the consciousness that is accessing it. Various layers of this plane are frequently described in the accounts of individuals who have experienced out-of-body experiences during slumber. Some of these dimensions are characterized by a sense of tranquility and brightness, as well as opportunities for learning and encounters with benevolent entities. Others are dense and chaotic, reflecting states of anxiety, dread, and confusion. This demonstrates that the astral experience we have can be directly influenced by the frequency of our vibration prior to going to slumber. Numerous spiritual researchers categorize these dimensions into 3 levels: dense energies and manifestations of fear. Guilt and emotional imbalance are associated with the lower astral dimension. This level is perceived by some as a somber and oppressive environment. The middle astral dimension is the most frequently visited during sleep. In this location, conventional dreams transpire, and interactions with projections from the subconscious mind occur. A higher astral plane, which is linked to elevated states of consciousness, is the site of encounters with spiritual mentors, learning, and profound mental expansion. According to research on astral projection, certain individuals are able to access these realms spontaneously while they are sleeping, while others can consciously train to do so by engaging in specific techniques such as lucid dreaming induction or mindfulness practices prior to going to bed. One of the most enigmatic and transformative experiences that can occur while we are asleep is spiritual encounters. Numerous individuals have reported encountering spiritual mentors, deceased loved ones, light entities, and even living individuals. However, is this merely a product of the intellect, or are we in fact engaging with other consciousnesses? The astral plane's nature may provide the answer. This dimension is highly malleable and directly responds to our intentions and vibrational frequencies, as we have observed. It is not impossible for genuine spiritual encounters to occur if our consciousness partially liberates itself from physical constraints during slumber. There are numerous reports that suggest that these encounters occur spontaneously. However, they may also be deliberate individuals who have experienced the loss of a loved one, frequently experience vivid dreams about them, experiencing a genuine presence, and receiving messages that, upon awakening, provide solace and understanding. For some, this may simply be a psychological mechanism for bereavement. However, there are remarkable instances in which messages and previously unknown details are disclosed during these encounters, indicating that the experience was genuine. Learning sessions are another prevalent form of spiritual encounter. Certain esoteric traditions assert that we can be transported to genuine spiritual institutions while we are asleep, where we are instructed on the laws of the universe, consciousness, and evolution. There are instances in which individuals recall concepts and information that they had never previously studied upon awakening. However, upon conducting further investigation, they find that these are profound principles that are rooted in ancient traditions or sacred texts. However, how can we exert greater control over these interactions? I want to meet my spiritual guide tonight and recollect this experience when I wake up. As we have previously discussed and instructed you, wake up with your notebook by your side and record all of the events. The origin of nightmares is far more complex than a mere reflection of daily tension, and they are one of the most intriguing phenomena of sleep. Frequently, they function as emotional alerts, symbolic messages from the unconscious, or even experiences in denser dimensions of the astral reality. However, what is the cause of these events, and is it possible to manage them? The brain continues to process emotions while we sleep, organizing memories and attempting to make sense of our emotions, according to neuroscience research. The threat simulation theory, which was introduced by researcher Antti Revonsuo, posits that nightmares are a physiological mechanism that our brains employ to prepare us for real-world challenges and hazards. However, this may also indicate that we are aligning with vibrational realities that correspond to our internal states. The REM phase of sleep is the primary time for the occurrence of nightmares, as the brain is in a state of high activity, digesting memories and emotions. Psychologists such as Sigmund Freud believe that nightmares were repressed expressions of fears and traumas from the unconscious, whereas Carl Jung viewed them as the manifestation of profound archetypes within the human psyche. Studies have demonstrated that individuals who experience traumatic events, such as loss, extreme tension, or anxiety, are more likely to experience nightmares. This occurs as a result of the brain's efforts to reorganize emotions and identify a method of processing challenging experiences. Nevertheless, not all nightmares are directly attributed to psychological factors. Some appear to originate from enigmatic sources. If nightmares are in a sense a reflection of the emotional and energetic state prior to sleep, we can take measures to prevent negative experiences and transform sleep into a period of learning and expansion. Some methods involve energy purification prior to sleep, which involves the visualization of light surrounding one's body, the burning of sage, or the use of incense. These practices help to establish a more secure environment for sleep. The experience can be entirely transformed by employing mental reprogramming techniques such as replacing negative thoughts before bed with affirmations such as "I sleep in peace and protection," Sheriforn. Steer clear of foods that are both weighty and stimulating in the evening. The quality of sleep can be disrupted, and the likelihood of nightmares can be increased by the consumption of alcohol, caffeine, and hefty meals. Record and analyze visions. Frequently, they convey valuable messages from the subconscious. Recording the specifics can assist in the identification of patterns and concealed meanings. Develop a sense of awareness in dreams or lucid dreaming. Learning to identify when you are dreaming can enable you to confront the nightmare and even transmute it into a positive experience. Despite the fact that the majority of individuals desire to prevent nightmares, certain spiritual traditions assert that they can serve as opportunities for learning. If a nightmare is recurrent, it may be attempting to impart a lesson. Practitioners in certain astral projection institutions are instructed to maintain composure during a nightmare and confront it with awareness. Frequently, they find that the creature in the dream is a repressed aspect of themselves that is requesting to be incorporated. Fear can be transformed into self-awareness and development if we can comprehend and reinterpret visions. What is the reason for our tendency to neglect our dreams? The brain transfers its focus to physical reality immediately upon waking, causing the majority of individuals to forget their dreams. The brain functions differently during sleep, particularly in the REM phase, as it accesses memories and generates symbolic narratives. Upon awakening, the rational mind assumes control and disregards this information as irrelevant. Dreams are also neglected due to the absence of dream memory training. Just as with any other skill, the capacity to recall visions can be honed through rigorous practice. As previously mentioned, the act of maintaining a notebook by your bed and recording all that you recall immediately upon waking up can enhance your dream memory. The details become more apparent over time, even if they are initially only fragments. Additionally, refraining from moving immediately upon awakening can be beneficial, as the initial seconds following awakening are essential for the retention of visions. Remaining seated and attempting to reconstruct the images prior to rising can have a significant impact. Limit exposure to stimuli prior to retiring for the night. Dream retention may be impaired by excessive screen time. Blue light and information inundation prior to bedtime. Recall is facilitated by a tranquil atmosphere. When discussing dreams and astral projections, the perils and obstacles of the dream world are frequently disregarded. Although slumber can be a learning experience that is both rewarding and enriching, there are also potential challenges that may arise when attempting to investigate consciousness during this state. It is imperative to comprehend these obstacles in order to safely navigate the dream universe, from recurring nightmares to encounters with enigmatic entities. Sleep paralysis is a condition that can be quite alarming. It is characterized by a partial awakening inability to move, a sensation of chest pressure, and in certain instances, the perception of shadowy entities in the vicinity. Sleep paralysis is a scientific phenomenon that occurs when the brain awakens before the body causing the muscles to become momentarily paralyzed in order to prevent movement during dreaming. Nevertheless, certain spiritual traditions propose that this state may manifest when consciousness abruptly resurfaces from an astral experience, resulting in a brief perception of parallel dimensions. It is crucial to maintain composure in the event that you encounter this. Concentrate on your breathing, gradually move your fingertips, and bear in mind that this is a temporary situation. Numerous individuals utilize this state as a gateway to cognizant experiences, thereby transforming sleep paralysis into an opportunity for astral projection. Encounters with enigmatic entities are an additional obstacle in the dream world. Dreams of entities that appear to be more than mere mental constructs are reported by certain individuals. These entities may be amicable, neutral, or even alarming. However, what are they? Numerous specialists contend that these figures are symbolic representations of the mind, which reflect suppressed aspects of the psyche. Certain spiritual traditions assert that we have the ability to communicate with consciousnesses that reside in subtle dimensions, such as spiritual guides or disembodied entities. When we dream, energy forms that temporarily manifest in visions can be generated by intense emotions. It is imperative to resist the urge to succumb to dread during these interactions. The presence of these entities can be exacerbated by fear, which can also attract denser experiences. Practice energy protection techniques before bedtime, such as visualizing a light field surrounding your body if you suspect that you are in a negative environment. Excessive activity in visions is another challenge that some individuals encounter. Some individuals experience a sense of mental exhaustion upon awakening, as if they have lived a second existence in the dream world due to an excessively active consciousness. This may occur when there is a significant amount of emotional processing occurring, or when there are numerous intense experiences during the night. In order to achieve equilibrium, it is crucial to cultivate strategies for re-establishing vitality upon awakening. Drinking a glass of water, walking barefoot on the earth, or having a bath can assist in re-establishing a connection with your physical body. Here are 2 practices that will assist you in safely navigating the dream world. Establish a customary routine prior to retiring for the night. Before entering the dream state, it is possible to safeguard one's energy through meditation, prayer, or visualization of light. Consume content that is not conducive to slumber. Arguments, horror films, and violent news can all have an impact on your visions. A state of slumber is not the only aspect of sleep. A laboratory of the unconscious, a gateway to concealed dimensions of consciousness, and a potent instrument for spiritual development, it is valuable messages regarding our energy. Mind and life's purpose are conveyed by every aspect of our slumber, from the most trivial dreams to the most intense astral projections. You are now aware that your emotional state has a direct impact on your nocturnal experiences, that it is feasible to train your mind to receive responses, and that nightmares can serve as educational opportunities. Through methods such as energy preparation before sleep, lucid dreaming induction, and dream journaling, it is possible to transform sleep into a period of self-discovery and consciousness expansion. After all of this, it is evident that you are never truly asleep during the night. How about you? Have you ever experienced any unexplainable events during sleep? Lucid visions, spiritual encounters, or sensations of emigrating from your body? Please share your story in the comments if you believe it could assist others in comprehending this invisible universe. Additionally, if you would like a video that delves deeper into one of the topics discussed here, please leave a suggestion. In the Quantum Thinking 21-Day Challenge, you will acquire the ability to reprogram your consciousness and access new possibilities, thereby elevating your mental capabilities. Please review the initial pinned comment, and I look forward to seeing you in the subsequent video.